So Nick Wright, man, he's been extremely confident lately because LeBron James is in the finals. But the takes coming from this man. There is a reason why this is Nick Wright Exposed 2. Really 3, because the first one was taken down from like 2 years. But let me not get into that. Now, like I said in my last video, this video is not a LeBron versus MJ debate video. This is a video specifically tackling Nick Wright's arguments, dissecting them, and really talking about why and how they are bad arguments. I could care less who you think the GOAT is at this point, but today we will specifically analyze 3 takes from Nick Wright the past week or so and really dive into them and just, they're just really bad. They're really bad, man. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video on the channel hosted by your boy B Souls, Disney Souls, Ned Souls, Choji Souls, Yajirobe Souls, any fat Asian in media that I probably look like him, man. I probably do. No specific comment shout out this week for the windscreen. I am putting on the pink windscreen this video for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I'm gonna put a link in the description for you guys to learn more about, you know, breast cancer, because it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Let's spread the awareness. Leave a like on this video if you like videos like this. It supports the channel. It takes 2 seconds. You probably could have been done by now if I'm being honest. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But let's get into this video, man. But just a disclaimer, right? Just a disclaimer. When I do these exposed type videos on these media analysts, I do want to say that I am just arguing basketball. That is all I'm arguing. I'm not trying to say anything about their character or them as a man. It's really not that serious. And if anything, I've gained a different level of respect for them simply for the fact that they have to be on live TV every single day and try to be entertaining. And especially this year with the lack of sports, that's easier said than done. That's easier said than done. But now that I got the disclaimer out the way, let's take a look at this first take, shall we?
LeBron was already in the lead, but this probably killed it. I mean, for Anthony Davis, you can't have a 15. Listen, you're only allowed to have a 15-point per game in the finals and win finals MVP if you're getting it for guarding LeBron James. That's how Iggy got it. That's how Kawhi Leonard got it. But in general rules, you can't have that type of game win finals MVP. We know the rules.
So Nick Wright said in this clip that Anthony Davis is disqualified from winning finals MVP simply because he had a 15-point game in Game 3. A game where AD only had 15 points, primarily because he was in foul trouble. But especially coming from a LeBron fan like Nick Wright, I don't see how having one bad game disqualifies you from winning finals MVP. Now, maybe if you're talking about this series specifically, okay, I kind of see it because, again, one of the biggest debates in the NBA finals was how close LeBron and AD were for the finals MVP. But what Nick Wright said is that you're disqualified from winning finals MVP, period, if you have a game like AD had in Game 3, period. Unless you're Kawhi Leonard or Iggy, who got it just because they were guarding LeBron James. But if that is the case, if that statement isn't just specific to this series, then that's just wrong. That's just wrong. Because let's bring facts into it. Let's take it back to 2013. The 2013 NBA Finals. A lot of people remember LeBron James's dominance in Game 6 and Game 7. That is primarily why he won Finals MVP, and throughout the series, he was the best player on the winning team. But let's keep in mind that in Game 1, LeBron James had 18 points on 7 of 16 shooting. In Game 2, he had 17 points on 7 of 17 shooting. And in Game 3, he had 15 points on 7 of 21 shooting. Now look, I understand that Nick Wright is the same person who argued that Pascal Siakam is a better scorer than Jason Tatum because he averaged 0.1 more points per game throughout the season. I understand he's that same guy, but the scoring performances that I just said are on par with the 15-point game AD had in Game 3. If not worse, considering the fact that in the 3 games I mentioned, he only scored 1 more field goal on anywhere from 7 to 12 more shots in those games. And in 2016, the final series that really defined LeBron James's career, in Game 2, you know what he had? 19 points on 7 of 17 shooting from the field. Again, a performance that is on par, if not arguably worse, than AD's Game 3 performance. And in 2013, he didn't just have it once, he had it 3 times in the first 3 games of this series. Yet these are 2 series that LeBron himself won Finals MVP. These 2 championships, these 2 Finals MVPs are some of LeBron's crowning achievements. Yet he won Finals MVP. But wait, you said you can only get Finals MVP when scoring 15 points in a game, only if you're guarding LeBron. Yet LeBron himself won Finals MVP in those circumstances, or if not similar circumstances. That's very awkward. But you might be saying, well, B Souls, LeBron did more than just score in those games. That's not really a fair comparison. I know that. This isn't my argument. This is what Nick Wright said. And his whole argument is based on just scoring alone. Did he talk about AD's defensive impact? No, he didn't. I only brought up those examples because it completely contradicts what he just said. But not only that, let's expand the scope of this argument, right? Let's talk about NBA Finals in the last 30 years that didn't even have LeBron James in it. So LeBron James is clearly not a factor. And what you will see is that there are instances where the NBA Finals winner had a bad game similar to what AD had in Game 3, yet still won Finals MVP. Tim Duncan in 2005 had 18 points in Game 2, 14 points in Game 3, and 16 points in Game 4. Chauncey Billups had 14 points in Game 5 of 2004. Paul Pierce had 6 points in Game 3 of 2008 and 17 points in Game 6 on 4 of 13 shooting. Michael Jordan in the 1997 Finals had a game where he had 22 points, yet shot 11 of 27 from the field. Like, what exactly are we talking about? What are we talking about? Now this next take, man. Jesus Christ. Just
If LeBron James' career started in 2012 and you just erased the first 8 years, he would still be the greatest player of all time. That just what he's done post-Mavericks is greater than anything anyone else has done in their careers combined. First is his 10 greatest playoff games ever. What you will see on this list is only one of them comes pre-Maverick. Now, I know folks are going to bring up it's from 2012 to now, he only has 4 rings. Jordan has 6. Can we put up a blind reveal if we could? And Brandon and Wilds, you tell me, which of these left or right, which is better? That is LeBron James in his last 3 finals losses, and that is Michael Jordan in his final 3-peat, his last 3 finals wins.
Apparently, if you take LeBron's career from 2012 to 2020 and just compare that to any career in NBA history, apparently that is greater than any player in NBA history. My God. Can we just talk about his argument specifically? Because the only thing I could find is that he showed LeBron's 10 best games and just showed the fact that 9 of them were post 2011, and then he brought up a 3-game sample size. I can bring up Jordan's best 10 games from 1990 to 1998, and it'll stack pretty well with LeBron's. But how does bringing up that 3-game sample size at the end prove that LeBron the last 8 years is better than any NBA player's career? Like, I'm really trying to put it together. And please, just don't ever bring up a stat that even remotely implies that LeBron's Game 3 performance, where he underperformed in the 4th quarter, had 4 turnovers, and was 2 of 5 from the field, was remotely close to Michael Jordan's 1998 Game 6, where he had 45 points in the last game of his career as a Bull and had a game winner to close. Like, don't, oh God. But this whole argument just kind of contradicts Nick Wright's whole GOAT argument leading up to this point, because I thought his argument was totals, was longevity. Yet, just suddenly out of the blue, it doesn't matter anymore. And it doesn't really make sense because he didn't really justify it in any way. Like, he didn't say in the last 8 years he's had more impressive rings than anyone in NBA history, or he didn't bring up a certain stat. He literally just brought up his best 10 games and said that 9 of them happened post 2011. But let's compare a 8-year stretch in Jordan's career compared to the last 8 years of LeBron's career. For Jordan, let's look at 1990 to 1998. In this stretch, Jordan had 6 finals appearances, 6 NBA titles, 6 finals MVPs, 5 scoring titles, 3 MVPs, made all defensive first team every single year. And you can even shift that time span from instead of 1990 to 1998 to 1989 to 1997, and it still comes up with an 8-year stretch that's arguably better than LeBron's last 8. Compare that to LeBron, who had 7 finals appearances, 4 championships, 3 to 4 finals MVPs depending on what happens by the time I upload this video, 2 MVPs, and just 3 all defensive teams. Again, what are we talking about here? So if you can debate an 8-year stretch from Jordan's career that's been better than LeBron's last 8, how can you come out and say that LeBron's last 8 is better than Jordan's entire career? Like his entire career? Entire career. Come on. So Nick, let's use the exact argument you used on Undisputed a couple years back, where you brought a lot of totals into it, where you compared LeBron's career totals to Michael Jordan's career totals and brought up a lot of advanced stats and ticked off the boxes like it was nothing. Let's do that with LeBron's last 8 years to MJ's whole career. Because if that argument was true, and if that argument is a strong argument, then that should stay consistent in this case. And I'm not even gonna go through the stats, but you can look for yourselves, and what you will see is that when you compare Jordan's whole career to LeBron's last 8 years, Jordan is leading in points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, a lot of the advanced metrics as well, including win shares per 48, VORP, box plus minus. Really the only thing LeBron has in this case are the efficiency numbers like PER and true shooting percentage, and that's pretty much it. But then you might be saying, but B-Souls, duh, Michael Jordan throughout his whole career has played more games than LeBron's last 8. One, this isn't my argument, I'm literally using his argument against him, which is a common misconception a lot of you guys have in the comment section. Like when I say this isn't my argument for why Jordan is better than LeBron. I'm just using his own argument against him. And 2, that's what we've been saying this whole damn time when it comes to totals. That's what we've been saying. What does LeBron having more points than Jordan mean when you know for a fact that he played a significantly more amount of games than Jordan did throughout his career? Are you trying to say that LeBron's a better scorer than Michael Jordan because he has more career total points? Then say the same thing for Karl Malone then. When you look at career totals, that takes into account longevity more than anything else. And please consider that when you're comparing totals and correlating that with actual skill and abilities. And now let's bring up the last take.
Let's do a blind stat reveal real quick. Maybe it might illustrate how awful those 2011 finals really were. One of them is LeBron's 2011 meltdown. The worst moment of his career. The worst moment of any superstar's career. Those are the years Kawhi and Iggy won Finals MVP. LeBron's meltdown was more points, rebounds, assists, steals than the crowning achievements for those 2 Finals MVPs up to that point of their careers.
Oh my goodness, man. I really thought I left this in the TikTok Takes 2 video I did a couple weeks ago. But apparently not, because national analysts, professional analysts are saying the same thing on national TV. Why are we using this logic? Why? Like, please, someone explain to me why. Why are we comparing a superstar meltdown to what Kawhi did in his 3rd year in the league when he was a mid-round draft pick, to what Andre Iguodala was doing in the finals when he wasn't even starting in the regular season? Why? Those 3 players have 3 separate, distinct, and very different expectations. Why are we doing this? And I'll say this again to put it in layman's terms. If you have 2 kids take the exact same test, yet kid A is a complete dumbass and kid B is destined for MIT greatness, and they both get a 75, that 75 for kid A is different for kid B. Kid A getting a 75 is considered overachieving for him, while for Kid B, that is considered underachieving. Put it in this case, Kid A is Andre Iguodala, and Kid B is LeBron James. Those two are not the same things at all. I don't know. I don't know what else to tell y'all. If y'all like this video, leave a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But with that being said, I'm out. Peace.